So it looks like we got some major news today from Midnight Society. It all started last week whenever they changed their Twitter profile picture. They also changed their Twitter banner to a date, which was 3/17/23. And then they also deleted all of their previous tweets, every single one of them. And they've been really quiet since Snapshot 4 released back on December 20th of last year. So in the Discord channel, everybody's been speculating on what's been going on over there, why they've been so quiet, and now it seems like we know why. So we're going to watch this video that they dropped today with Doc speaking about it. There's a lot to unpack here, so we're going to play it a little bit, pause it, and talk about it. So we're going to watch this video that Midnight Society dropped today. And it's just Doc talking, but there's a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about. So let's dive in and learn about Snapshot 5.
Over the course of the last year, we built a team from the ground up, pulling in top talent from every major first-person shooter franchise in the last decade, to create a new type of shooter and to do it openly from day zero with our players that we call variants. They would download our playable snapshots every 6 weeks. Using their feedback, we put every new feature, new weapon, and new mechanic through its paces. Together, we laid the foundation for what would become Deadrop. But this ain't year one anymore. The shift has occurred, and the expansion has begun. In 2023, it's all about expanding on that foundation.
First thing that I want to point out here is obviously there's been an art upgrade. I assume that this is an upgraded version of the loot boxes that we currently have in the game. They've got these cool LEDs, looks like an X on them. That looks pretty sweet. And then back here, maybe that's a smoke grenade that they go on and talk about here in a little bit. And who knows, it could be just a can of spray paint. I don't know. It kind of looks like maybe possibly a flare too. So there's 2 or 3 things that could be, and then it looks like a can of food down here. So I don't know what that's about, but anyway.
Every snapshot will introduce significant new features and iterations to the game. But with expansion comes larger features and systems. This requires longer development.
I'm going to stop it right there and kind of hide myself here because this is the Snapshot 5 healing station concept. So it looks like the art team has drawn out their concept of what the healing station is going to look like. Looks like you've got maybe some glass on each side, so it kind of protects you from the left and the right. You're still exposed from behind, so that's pretty neat. Before we move on, though, one little cool thing that I saw is up here. It looks like it says Lifeline. So already with the shot before and now this concept art of the healing station, it seems like they're stepping up the game as far as the art goes. You know, right now in the Proving Ground, we're only at a blockout stage, but now that they've got a concept drawing of the healing station and then that other shot with the loot boxes and the assault rifle, definitely seems like we're going to be further in the art stage. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That means snapshots will be less frequent, but much larger in scope. We'll be spending nearly 3 months of development time on every new release. And with every drop comes major advancements in gameplay and expansion.
So when we bought into the whole founder thing, you know, we were thinking that, you know, every 6 weeks we would see a snapshot until release. But it seems that that's not going to be the case anymore. We're still going to have access to the snapshots and still going to be, you know, invested in the game. It's just instead of 6 weeks, now we're looking at 3 months. So in a year's time, we're only getting 4 snapshots. Which initially, whenever I first listened to this, I was like, I don't know about that. But the more that I thought about it, if you think about the small team that Midnight Society started out with and what they've got now, they've got a much bigger team than 6, 7, 8 months ago. And so with a bigger team, you're able to accomplish more. And I think they're past the stage of introducing the small things, you know, like a weapon here or there, or, you know, sliding mechanics, that sort of stuff. I think they're beyond that. And they're wanting to package things in a much larger scope, as Doc said, so that when that snapshot hits, man, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to cover, and it just increases the excitement.
Of the tower.
So I'm going to stop it right there. So let's back up a little bit, listen to what he says here.
Of the tower. Gameplay and expansion.
Expansion.
Of the tower.
Of the tower.
And it all starts with Snapshot 5. Enter The tower.
So big deal. We've been playing these snapshots on the Proving Ground, which is that one map that you've probably seen gameplay of if you're familiar with my channel or any of the other Deadrop founder content creators. This is going to be our first look into the tower, which, if you don't know what the tower is, that is the map that we're going to eventually play Deadrop on. Now, is the Proving Ground a part of the tower? We're not 100% sure right now. We don't know if that's going to stay, if it's going to go away, if it's going to be part of the tower, if it's going to be a separate thing. Not sure yet, but this is a big deal. We're going to have a first look at the tower.
Over 4 months of development and the introduction of the first sector, cold storage.
So 4 months in development, they've created this sector, which, if you're not familiar of how many sectors are going into the tower, it's going to be 7 overall. So this is going to be 1/7 of the tower.
Along with an expanded play space, we're introducing big new features like the armor and helmet system, which will allow variants to display their visor cortex in-game.
So this is pretty cool as a founder, because this is the visor cortex that I currently own, and it's going to be very cool because now, once we step into this sector, we're going to be able to equip our cortexes. It's very exciting as a founder because you bought into this thing hoping that you would be able to display your visor cortex, just, this helmet piece here, in game eventually. And that's something that we've kind of expressed to them over the Twitter spaces and in feedback. So it looks like they took that feedback and they're applying it to the game. So very excited for that. And then he mentioned the helmet and the armor system, which it seems like that I'm sure there's going to be different levels of helmets, different levels of armor, just like any kind of extraction shooter. Heck, even Blackout had different types of armor and helmets that you could pick up. So that's pretty standard in today's shooters, but still exciting nonetheless.
For the very first time, consumable healing is introduced, along with tactical throwables like the smoke grenade.
So that's pretty exciting because right now we don't have lootable healing items. You have to go to a healing station, which is in a preset location on the map in the Proving Grounds, which is, it creates kind of a dynamic with the players because, what I've found is it's better to stay kind of near those and not get too far away from those healing stations. Because, if you get shot at, you can run and quickly access that healing station. And then on the offensive end, you can kind of gatekeep people around that healing station. So this is huge. This kind of changes things. It kind of changes the dynamic of the game. So you'll be able to pick up those items right out of the box. So pretty big deal. And then he also talks about throwables like smoke grenades. So that's pretty big. I don't know if more is going to get introduced, like grenades, Semtexes, claymores, that sort of thing, or if they're just holding off for all of that right now and it's just going to be smokes. Who knows? But pretty cool. The armory is going to be expanded.
With 6 fully completed weapons and 13 attachments to fully tailor to your player's style.
So that's pretty huge. 6 completed guns with 13 attachments. I don't even know where to begin on that. I don't know if that's 13 attachments per gun or 13 attachments overall. I don't know, but that's pretty huge. And just graphically, I just want to point out, like, this gun right here looks so good.
Completed weapons and 13 attachments to fully tailor to your player's style. The now weekly Friday night dead drops will be
looks really good.
Deadlier. You can go hands-on March 17th, 2023.
So there you have it, officially Snapshot 5, 3/17/23, which from this recording, today is 2/6. It's about 5.5 weeks away from today. Sounds like it's far away, but I'm sure it's going to be here before we know it.
Meet me in Texas and show me what you've got, because after this, everything changes.
So they haven't officially announced it yet, but it sounds like there's going to be another Founders event in Texas. We don't have a city or a place or any of the details. We just have this to go off of, and he just mentions Texas. And in the Discord, we're just kind of trying to guess at where it's going to be. Is it going to be in Houston? Is it going to be in Austin? Is it going to be in Dallas? The only thing that we can come up with is Complexity's headquarters is outside of Dallas, just right outside in Fresco. And Doc's best buddy, Timmy Tenders, is sponsored by Complexity. So I'm thinking maybe he brings out his buddy for this snapshot. Who knows, right? We don't know for sure, but that's just a guess.
And there will be more than just variants dropping in.
So I think maybe he just teased there that they're going to bring more people in on the snapshot, whether that's claws or they're just bringing in more streamers to that event. I think it's maybe a little of both. You know, at the LA event, we had the dev team and Doc, but maybe this time he brings in Tim, maybe another streamer or two, some of his buddies to help come join him, build up the hype, that sort of thing. But that's all I've got for today. That's all I want to go over. I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on this video and kind of explain some stuff. If you want to learn more about Deadrop and kind of follow along this whole journey, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And hey, I will see you on the next one.